And last but not least, there's the blues scale. Now, you know, I originally played the whole thing as a blues, and you know, it just some of it sounded great, some of it didn't. And I'm reminded that the first time that I actually really learnt the major pentatonic scale was I was learning a solo for Sweet Jane by Lou Reed, and Steve Hunter, I think, is guitarist. And, you know, it's very much a major pentatonic solo. You know, there's just it's just in E, but at the end of it, he just kind of rips out some blues riffs, which, you know, are very familiar to me. It just sounded great, and actually, you know, it's pretty common, I think, that when you're playing in any kind of major scale, when you get to the fifth, to the dominant, you have the opportunity to play, you know, a blues over that fifth. So you play the blues scale for the root over the fifth of the fifth chord of the scale. And it just sounds really good. You hear a lot of players do it. They kind of just switch. I mean, it's kind of reminiscent of some of the stuff that some of the blues players do anyway, switching between major and minor. But, you know, in the case of country, you see people pepper some blues licks in here and there, and certainly often at the end of the solo, because it kind of gives it a little bit of an edge. So, you know, my recommendation, and I kind of tried, and you probably noticed every time I played something, I've kind of ended it with a minor pentatonic blues lick. But I kind of tried to put blues in sort of at the end on the turnaround, when you get to the E chord, or just before it, or just after it, to kind of indicate we're coming back round again. So let's just take you through what that sounds like. Here. So that ending, yeah. Very traditional kind of blues ending, and it just helps to turn the whole thing around. So that's where I would suggest you put it. That's where I found it worked best. So anyway, let's see what this whole thing sounds like. Now that's one thing about the blues. The other thing about the blues is that if you know the B.B. King box, then you'll notice that it kind of appears in some country in a lot of different places. I mean, the good thing about the B.B. King box, which is, you know, here, is that there's a couple of good things about it. First of all, it's got major and minor notes in it. Here's the A. It's also, ironically, got the D triad in it, and some of the E triad in it. So actually you can play almost over the entire solo just with these 5 notes if you apply them right. And you know, if you know any B.B. King stuff, or you maybe I Need Your Love So Bad, Peter Green, you'll know that, you know, that he uses this really very effectively over the whole lot. Now what we can do is it's pretty it's in the same vicinity as this C shape for the major scale, and there it is. So we've got the B.B. King box that we can use when we're playing in A at the right point, and in fact you'll see that I use it a little bit in the solo that I play. So taking those two things, applying the blues scale kind of at the end when you want to get some edge to do the turnaround, and using the B.B. King box a little bit during the solo when you're playing on the A and you want to have an easy way of moving between the A and the D. Let's put the whole solo together and you can see where that comes in. So you see, just at the end there, that's straight out of the BB King box, and here, that's again straight out of the kind of the blues trick bag. Bit of Chuck Berry probably. So those two things make just add a little bit of edge to the solo, and I think you'll find that a lot of country players do that kind of stuff. So we'll go on to the last section where I'm going to play through the whole solo again and talk through each of the things that I've done and each of the things I've applied as I've gone through it.